Wait, what is this? What are you looking at over here?
Oh, this is one thing I wanted to talk about today.
Beef-wooted? That's what you were going for?
Ancient archaic words. Beef-wooted was one of them I wanted to show you.
Is ancient and archaic the same thing?
Some of them.
What do you mean some of them?
Like, it's not always the same thing, but sometimes they are the same.
I'm going with ancient versus, what was it, archaic?
Archaic.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, all these words mean having come into existence or use in the more or less distant past. Don't read reading ahead, you fast reader. Go away. It says ancient applies to occurrence, existence, or use in or survival from the distant past. Okay. That didn't really help me, is it? What's the difference between ancient and antiquated? Antiquated?
They're all similes.
Yeah, I guess. And then it says, would you like another 158 similar words to ancient? 158? No. Oh my god.
Beef-wooted was one of the ones I wanted to show you. It means stupid, but I feel like that's a much nicer way to say stupid.
How do you spell it? Is it two T's?
Beef-wooted, yeah.
Man. Welcome to Mindless Prattle. We're on episode 48 now. I'm your host, Jordan. Ripley's over in that direction. Title of this episode's obviously Ancient Beef-wit, and just mindless beef-wittedness. What do you want? Which one?
There's also Calipagian, or a giant ass.
That one's harder to say, though. We're going beef-witted.
Camelopard? A giraffe.
Yeah, it's like a camel mixed with a leopard, obviously.
They're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm going to call it a camel leopard.
Anyway, this is the podcast where we give into all those intrusive thoughts that you and I have throughout the week and give them a little place to live forever on the internet.
Yeah. It's fine, though. We'll never regret this.
What was that one? Cockalorum?
Cockalorum. A little man who has a big attitude.
Man, I'm going to start giving that. Hold on, let me get a picture. I'm going to start giving that to people at work. Yeah.
That's probably much nicer than what you normally say.
Yes.
Contempt. I like that. Treat or regard with contempt.
You just took off like one letter at the end of contempt.
Just changed it up a little bit.
The intro. Stop it. We're doing the intro.
You already did the intro, I thought.
No, we didn't finish it.
Oh, finish the intro. We're very professional, as you can tell.
Now I lost it. What were we doing? The intro. Which part did I leave out?
You didn't say our names.
I did say our names. Remember? I'm Beef and you're Witt. Is that not?
No, that's not my name.
Oh, which one? Did you want to be Beef?
No, you're beefier than I am.
You didn't think about it. Anyway.
I like this word too.
This is. Sorry. Stop it. You're getting distracted again. This is the podcast where we talk about the random thoughts that you all have but just don't want to say. We're on episode 48. I can't believe it. We're what, like 1 month away from a full year of being alive. And
we're going to take like a 2-week break or anything, after our first season.
We're going to celebrate. I maybe, but we may have to postpone it till May. I don't know. It'd be weird to take a 2-week break in December and then another 2-week break in May.
I guess that's true.
I'm just saying. Unless you want to record all of those ahead of time. I don't know.
We can. We'll talk about it off the podcast.
I don't know. What was that? Kermering?
Kermering. Making stomach sounds. I actually think that's perfect.
Well, sure, but like that one's not voluntary, right? Like you just.
Well, it sounds like someone's drunk or something.
Cut purse. I thought it was cur purse. Is it cut purse? Like I knew it was a pickpocket. I thought it was cur purse for some reason.
Yeah, I've heard cut purse before.
Cut purse.
I do like the grade is on here. I feel like that's definitely still a word. So is demoralize.
I like that they put dame and damsel on here. I didn't know that the difference was just their age. I thought you could be either one. I thought they were like interchangeable,
No, I knew that they weren't. I knew like damsel's like young, whatever.
Interesting. A young unmarried woman. So if it's just a young woman, she's just lonely. Like I don't like she's married, she's not a damsel anymore.
Ooh, doxy, a lover or mistress.
Doxy. How do you? Where does doxy come from, though?
Google it.
Well, I'm trying to, but my camera keeps pulling up.
Embouchure, the mouth of a river.
Wait, what was that?
Embouchure.
Boucher. That's a French word,
It's
isn't
got to
it?
be, right?
Like the French named so many things. You ever realize that? Like especially what was it in college, right? Whenever we would take like air history classes or airplane classes, you don't know most parts for like every airplane is named after something French.
Really?
Yeah, like the fuselage of an airplane. It's a
Oh,
French word.
I guess that makes sense.
Like just for no reason. Mid Doxy comes from the mid 16th century, which originally slang. It says perhaps from Middle Dutch, which is dokitsi,
Okay.
a doll from Germanic doko, something round related to Duke. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Fair
Fishwife.
travel, yeah.
I like fishwife, a woman who sells fish.
Yeah, you don't have to be married, just a woman. It's the only it's the only requirement. Philly big. A kilt.
Interesting. A fizz gig.
Fizz gig. Isn't that a word from BFG? What's the name of the soda they drink in that? Remember? Do you remember what I'm talking about? The one that makes them fart instead of burp?
No.
You sure? What's it called?
No, I don't remember that.
Hold on. Soda from the BFG. What is it called? Frobscottle. See, I was really close.
Frobscottle.
Frobscottle, and your word was what?
Fizz gig.
See? It was pretty close.
Yeah. I haven't really. I don't think I've seen the BFG.
You haven't seen it? You haven't read the book either? You're
I
the
think
reader in
I read the
family.
book when I was a little kid, but not.
I'm gonna gorgonize you later. Yeah. It says to charm.
That doesn't sound like what that says.
Gorgonize to charm. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because like gorgons were the monsters. I mean, it's just yo. You got a Grimalkin. Did you see that?
Grimalkin.
Grimalkin.
Mm-hmm. That's a thing in my book.
Oh, gross. There's a little bar at the top, like at this one.
It shows you your progress.
There's a like, so you know how most websites had the scrolling bar on the side. This one has one on top, just in case you were like
a love apple.
It's a tomato. Yeah, I knew that
I've
one.
never heard that before.
Really, I've heard that one before.
In what?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard it before. Mage, a magician or learned person. So you could just a smart person.
I'm a mage.
So everyone's a mage. Huh?
Malapert. I like that. Malison, a curse.
Oh my god.
It's like somebody's name. They just put Mal on it.
Yeah.
Malison.
You ever accidentally touch a cactus?
Yes.
By accident, or like you were just like that's soft and you touched it?
No, like on accident.
Oh.
Why?
I don't know. I was thinking about cactuses because this drink is green.
Cacti.
Like, no, cactuses.
Me seems.
Me seems.
Me thinks.
Who wrote this? Jar Jar Binks? What are we doing here? Me thinks, me seems off. Something wrong in the
nay.
book.
I like nay.
Nay, nay.
I feel like we've brought back words like nay and nigh.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I say nigh all the time. I just like it. It's
Odd
fun.
is mild oath. All right. Hate a person's head.
Piquant. Why is this one like a little picture?
Sinful, offending, piquant. Like it's a Hallmark.
It sounds like
greeting.
A perfume name or something.
This is how I'd pick. I think this is how I'd pick perfume names if I just didn't want to name them.
Yeah, let's go down, huh?
Like you just get
Scape
one.
Grace.
Like,
what does Scape Grace smell like?
A mischievous person, a rascal. Like I don't know.
Scaramouche. Hey, I know that word.
A boastful, but cowardly person.
Everyone knows that word.
Yes, that one song that we've all heard.
Sciolist. A person who pretends to be knowledgeable.
Scrag, a neck. I thought it was like scruff, right? Like, no.
I feel like I've heard both.
Sea smoke, fog. Or just fog. When it was...
No.
I like when the definitions are smaller than the word. Like, why not just say the definition then?
Movedly.
Like a senite. Why can't we just say weak? There's less syllables.
I know. Like, why did they use words like that? I haven't heard this word sepulture, but I have heard sepulcher.
Is it the same thing? I don't know.
No, this is a burial. Sepulcher is like a grave or like a tomb or whatever.
I've seen that. Siege, we know that one. Although I don't think it means seat
It's a
or
different,
throne.
different meaning.
Yeah.
Sith, sense.
Again, same. It's one word.
Slibberdigullion.
What? The word
Slugabed.
is the word is spelled SLUBERDEGULLION. A slacker or a couch potato.
A small beer or a weak beer. Snow broth.
Oh, dude, you a snout fair.
A good-looking person. Okay, I think that's enough of the words. Well, anything interesting happened this week?
I don't know what you were scrolling past, but all I saw is I killed and stepdaughter, and I was like, what? Kicked.
I kicked my step granddaughter out of
See,
the house.
I was real close. I was like 90% of the way there. Okay. You need to stop scrolling Reddit. You're not going to find anything on Reddit.
I don't
Stop it. What'd you do this week?
I played video games mostly. Oh, I did go see A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
The whole ballad, huh?
We talked about it a little bit, but I did go see it. It was really good.
Yeah.
People have been making edits of this. So the guy who plays Snow is pretty attractive. Because it's like when he was like 19, 20 years old, you know?
Sure.
And people are making like thirst traps of him on TikTok. And every time I see it, I feel kind of weird because I'm like, it's kind of like Hitler, you know? Like,
was Hitler attractive in his youth? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know what he looks like in his youth, but I'm just saying, like that's like the comparative figure in Panem to our world. Like he's like the Hitler of his world.
I don't think that making 12 people kill each other each year to end wars is the same as trying to end an entire race of people.
No, he. If you read the books, it talks about how he like murders people and how he rules by fear and he has everybody under surveillance and how he's the reason that everything is so bad in Panem. Like it used to be a lot more free and the districts had more power. Yeah. And then after Snow came in, he changed all that. So I guess he's more like a Fidel Castro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Arguably, I don't think he's the closest to Hitler, though. Like Hitler was like, I'm going to make sure the whole world is peaceful without the Jews because they're the problem. Like he wasn't like, I'm going to make sure the whole world's peaceful by killing off District 19. Like I understand District 13, right? They were like, nah, fuck them kids. But like...
And then what's so interesting to me about the Hunger Games world too is they talk about, they don't mention it a lot, but the rest of the world is still like normal and fine.
Yeah, it's and they're just letting
this country do that.
Yeah, that's what always like was interesting to me too.
Why are you looking up Hitler Youth?
Because I was trying to see what he looked like when he was young to compare him.
Well, if you look up Hitler Youth, you're gonna find a bunch of random pictures of Nazis because Hitler Youth was like a program that they put young German men into.
Oh my gosh. Fine then. Hitler when he was young. It's just like him.
Is that baby Hitler?
It's just like him old and then him as a baby.
He looks exactly the fucking... No, look, like he looks exactly... That's a young picture, I think. He looks exactly the fucking same as when he was old.
I don't think so. I don't think that's his
Yeah, because this is the older picture.
That's the same though, isn't it?
No, he's old. He's definitely a different age. I think he just looks the same.
I want like teenage years him though. I don't want like old him though. All they got is pictures of him as a kid, and then he shows up and takes over Germany.
He lived a shitty life. He doesn't.
There was no in between.
He looks unhappy in all of these photos.
Oh yeah, he had to sit still for 8 years to get a photo back then. Maybe that's why there's no pictures of him as a teenager. He was a kid. They started taking the photo, and then he was an adult when the photo finished.
I don't think it was that bad.
Well, sure, but my joke was funny. Oh, there you go. Who's that? What if Clara Hitler didn't have something? Didn't have her cancer and survived inside? All right, I'm just...
Your mom having cancer isn't really a great reason to commit genocide, but that's just me.
What are you talking about? What if one day your mom was like, I have cancer. That man has the cure, but he won't give it to me. And he's like, I won't give it to you because you're not Jewish. And then you're like, oh, and then your mom dies and you're like, you know what? No more Jewish people.
I still
It's not a great reasoning to like kill all of them. Maybe just not like that guy, you know?
You know, if that was the choice, like I'll kill all these people or my mom will die, then my mom's going to die. I'm
It's
not
not all
committing
the people. Genocide. What?
You interrupted me, so I said the wrong thing.
Sued. I'm going to sue you for this genocide.
No, listen, genocide is bad, and there's a reason Katniss killed Coin at the end of the Hunger
Really?
Games.
I'm here
okay?
to make the opposite argument. What do you mean? Of course it's bad. And his Nazi henchmen as children.
Henchmen.
Yeah,
Why did that
like-
makes it sound cartoonish? They were just men.
Henchman. What is the difference between like a henchman and an assistant? Henchman definition. Like, I want to know. A faithful follower or political supporter, especially one prepared to engage in crime or dishonest practices by way of service. Okay, but
That's a pretty accurate word then, okay.
Okay, but they weren't doing anything illegal in their country though. Like they were doing things illegal in other countries, right? But like his law was that you can kill them. So they weren't committing crimes. He changed the law.
Yeah, just because it's against the law doesn't make it right.
But it does say dishonest practices, I guess. I don't know.
So yeah, just immoral shit.
Derogatory. Historically, it means a squire or page of honor to a person of rank. Okay. It comes from Middle English and Old English that meant male horse.
Interesting.
Male horse plus man, henchman.
Henchman.
You know how you used to? Oh, I saw a meme the other day about that, and it was like riding horses throughout all of history, and then all of a sudden you get in a car and you're like, "Wow, dog really is man's best friend." You're like, "What the fuck? Where did the horses go?"
This is the list I use when I want to come up with a creature to use in my book or writing. Have you ever heard of the Bake Kujira?
The what?
The ghost whale?
The bukkake? Where?
Bake Kujira?
Oh, yeah. What did I say? Were you just looking at me for?
I forgot the word.
What word?
It's not hibaki.
Hikochi?
I forgot what it's called.
We forgot what it's called.
Bukkake. Okay. Yeah, it's not bukkake. It's a Bake Kujira.
Wait. You forgot. It was like 2 seconds.
It's not like I'm looking at it often. But it is a mythical Japanese yokai from Western Japan. It is a large, ghostly skeleton whale said to be accompanied by strange birds and fish.
Well, yeah, they ate all the meat off its bones, so you have skeleton whale left. Obviously.
In one story, a fisherman tries to catch it with his harpoon. The harpoon sailed right through it, and the Bake Kujira floated away. In other stories, people say that the Bake Kujira brings a curse and general misfortune to the area where it is spotted. Oh, just like me.
Okay, but when did this start showing up, right? Like, how old is this this Baki Gaga?
Bake Kujira and Japan's
Sure.
whale cults.
Sure. Okay, but then we're getting on top of it. Like, go back to the last page. I'll show you. Look, this thing. It's got to be. It's not like this year, right? Like they didn't just come up with this. You think? This is the shortest Wikipedia page
Because it
ever.
says it's got a corresponding article in Japanese.
Oh, we just didn't want to. We just didn't want to translate the whole article on Wikipedia. Where's that dude who writes all the Wikipedia articles? Let me see. Diet none. Well, maybe that's why it's called the bone whale.
Diet none.
Habitat the Sea of Japan. Oh, good. Good. In olden days. Wait a minute. So it all right. Okay. I thought like it's a ghost so it could like float above this, like cities and stuff. They just see a whale in the ocean and they're like,
Okay,
it's the
you know
ghost
what?
whale.
From this description, that makes kind of sense. It says a whale sighting was a blessing for its residents. And if they saw the Bake Kujira, they would brought back to their villages when they returned home. The whale's curse brought famine, plague, fires, and other kinds of disasters. So to say like you have whales, right? Like something happens to the whale, like a disaster happens, that whale's like half dead and floating through the sea, getting attacked by birds. That would be an omen, right? Like you'd be like, some shit's about to go down.
Yeah, but like, okay, say you're out to sea in Japan, right? And you're out fishing and you see a giant dead whale that's floating by you as a ghost, right?
Mhm.
And then you're like, oh, it's a bad omen. We need to leave the area. I mean, you probably should just leave because there's something wrong with the water there. Like it's poisoned by a dead whale, so you're not gonna catch
it could be that too.
And then they go back and they're like, the ghost whale, it cursed us, and be like, there's no fish there anymore. And be like, well, yeah, there's a dead whale there.
It's a
Of course, there's
decomposing
no
carcass.
fish. Like, go somewhere else to fish. What are you doing?
Don't worry though, we have more whale stories.
Wait, how did you even get on this list of legendary creatures by what? By type? Why are you on this page?
I use it as a writing source.
For,
Like if I want to
for
have
what?
a monster or a creature or something, I use this to give me ideas.
Are there monsters or creatures in your book this often?
Yeah, it's a fantasy novel.
Okay, but how many do you need?
Well, so far
How many's in there?
I've only like looked through
Have you used any of these?
just one.
Just one. Is it like a main like plot point, or it's just like, and then we saw the ghost whale on the crossing from England? Like, what did you?
No, it's main plot points.
You can't have two legendary creatures in a book. You're just overstimulating the book then.
But it's just to give me like ideas. Like I don't necessarily use these specific ones, but I might be like, oh, like this part of this tale I like, I'll use that concept. When we started Mindless Prattle, we were immediately overwhelmed with all of the different tasks that come with starting a podcast. The audio, video, website hosting, editing services. It's enough to make anybody dizzy. If you want to start your own podcast, that might be one of the biggest things holding you back. Editing and production can be a huge learning curve and was what made me the most nervous when we started this podcast. Don't worry, you don't need to become an expert audio engineer to run a great sounding show. If you head on over to mindlessprattle.com/alitu, that's ALITU, you'll find a great little web app that was designed to make processing, editing, and publishing super easy. Alitu lets you create a podcast without knowing anything about audio production. It'll do conversion, leveling, noise reduction, and everything else at a press of a button. Finally, you can either download the finished episode or have it published directly from the app. So don't let editing and production get in the way of sharing your message with the world. Get started with Alitu on the monthly plan at $38 or the annual plan at $380 that will give you 2 free bonus months. You also get a 7-day free trial with either plan, so head to the link and give it a shot. Head on over to mindlessprattle.com/alitu to create the podcast of your dreams. That's mindlessprattle.com/ALITU. But the devil whale is an English tale. A demonic whale-like sea monster. Okay, Moby Dick. It resembles an island when it's sleeping.
Swallow entire ships. So it was just a large whale that they saw, and they probably pissed it off somehow.
It's a really big whale, man. It's a monster.
Look, whales are attacking ships right now. You can't tell me that a giant whale attacking a ship at some point during history was not a thing.
They're still doing it. Yeah.
A sea goat, half fish. All right.
Greek. Oh, that picture's great. Look at that.
I'm pretty sure.
It looks like a shrimp.
That's just Zeus, isn't it? Like he's just like, what's this? An animal that has sex? I'll be that animal.
The constellation Capricornus was commonly imagined as a type of sea goat, the goatfish, to symbolize the god Enki. It's the goat that raised Zeus.
Told you Zeus was involved. Like, I told you he was involved in this.
As thanks
if
for
it's
caring,
Greek and it's an animal, Zeus is involved. Like it's
yeah, as thanks for caring for him as a child, Zeus places her amongst the stars.
Zeus was raised by a goat shrimp.
Hey, this also connects to Jewish tradition. In Jewish oral history, sea goats are mentioned. The story goes that one day all the creatures of the sea must offer themselves to the monster Leviathan. In another, a sailor encountered a sea goat while far at sea. On its horns was carved a sentence translated as, "I am a little sea animal, yet I traverse 300 parasangs to offer myself as food to the Leviathan."
What was that reading? I am a little sea animal. Wait a minute. So this guy got close enough to a sea goat to not only read what was on its horns, but record it and then make it back on the journey back.
How big were his horns?
Like the Leviathan.
It has that whole sentence on there.
Right? Like, how?
How did he read that? And then Greek too? Wouldn't that be much more?
Also, why would that be on the Leviathan? Wouldn't that be on like someone's like? Wouldn't that be like a plaque you'd be reading, like on the way to where the Leviathan lives? Like,
I don't know. I don't think they knew what was happening.
Did you ever see we're speaking of like stars and stuff, do you ever see how they first started like charting stars and using it for navigation?
No.
You ever thought about it though, right? Like say you go outside tonight and there's no lights on, right? Because we're way in the past now. And you look up and you're like, ah, I need a map of all the blinky motherfuckers up there. So you start drawing, right? But then you look up and you're like, oh fuck, which stars did I draw? You know what I mean? Because there's
Yeah.
thousands of them motherfuckers. So you're like, how do we do this, right? You ever wonder how they do that?
Well, I am now.
Oh, me too.
You don't know?
I there's a, there's I don't know all of them, but because I'm sure there have been different methods. But one of the oldest techniques that someone used was they built. It was one of the was it one of the like South American tribes? I think it was
Mhm.
one of them. Um, but they're pyramids, right? They're perfectly aligned with the stars. And so at the bottoms of these pyramids, they'd have these mirror like substances basically on the ground, right? And you would stand at the perfect spot, the same spot, right? Every night. And you look at the mirror and you could trace what's on top of it while looking at the stars. So you'd then have a mirror image of what the stars look like when you're looking at them, right? But then, the next night you can do it again and you can see which way they start shifting. And then you already have a pyramid that points north. So you can just use that.
That seems like so much work. I'm so glad I don't live that.
You're just like, I'm just going to let Elon Musk put satellites up into space so I can use my phone.
Listen, I definitely look like I've seen an iPhone. Okay. Like,
Yeah. I really want them to bring back that old show that was the generation. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was literally like they would put an old lady in a driver's seat of a car, right? And they would give her a phone that had a GPS, and it would show directions on the phone, and then they would have her navigate, right? And she's like, "Oh, this is so much easier. This is nice, right?" And then they'd put like a teenager in the car with her in the passenger seat, and they'd give the teenager a map of the city, like a physical map. And she'd go, okay, I'm trying to get to that. And it was in like New York. So like it was grids,
yeah, it's a grid system.
It's a grids, yeah. So they were like, it's not difficult. Like for most people, if you've never seen a map, it's a little overwhelming at first, but then you can kind of just read where the fuck you are. Anyway, so they would make the passenger, this teenager, give directions to this old lady, and the old lady's just like, we're at 45th and 9th. And she's like, okay, which is that? And then the old lady looks over and she goes, no, you're on the wrong page. That's not even Manhattan. What are you doing? She's like, the light's green. Do I turn or not turn? And she's like, I don't know where we are.
Oh God, I would have a
This
panic attack.
teenager is just like dying inside. Couldn't read a map. I want them to bring back that show.
I'm
That
so
show
glad
was
we
funny.
don't do MapQuest anymore.
Yeah, that show was so funny.
Remember my parents like screaming at each other in the car because they missed a turn.
Yeah, and you're just reading it off a piece of paper, and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore. Just turn around. Well, then the streets are backwards. Read them the other way. I don't know.
The road's closed for construction. Play any good video games lately?
No, I played a little bit of Halo, but other than that, I haven't really played much.
I've just been playing so much Sims. So much of it. I hit 900 hours.
Oh, thank goodness. You're almost a master. Was it like 1,000 hours for mastery?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. So let me get this straight then. Earlier this week, you showed me that you made our apartment in The Sims.
Mm-hmm.
It was not entirely accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like the walls were off of where they usually are.
I made it a little better.
You have 900 hours in this game, and the walls were off.
I wanted to make it a little different.
Yeah, but I said, why are the walls like that? And you went, oh, I don't know. That's just how they turned out.
It's because the
You gotta say
spacing in the
You gotta
Sims
say it with
compared to
confidence.
well, because the spacing in the Sims compared to how you space things in real life is a little weird.
You can space things.
Like the way you space rooms and things like that. And I didn't want to make it any bigger.
I'm pretty sure you just didn't make it to scale.
Listen, it looks fine.
I didn't say it looks bad. I'm just saying you have
it looks
900 hours in the game,
similar to.
and you have an approximation of
It
what
looks
that looks
pretty similar
like.
to our apartment.
Yeah, that's true.
I just changed up the bathroom and the pantry a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Everything else is the same, pretty much.
That's the part of the intro I forgot.
What?
The part where we normally block out time for recordings, right?
Mhm.
Today we blocked out time for recordings. And then this morning you got called into work, so we're having to like do this little improvised session. So we don't have time to do a full recording, which is why this episode is going to be a little bit shorter. That's what I forgot. You let me forget it at the beginning.
You can add it in.
No, it's too late now. We're going to get to this point in the episode.
We're just going to abruptly end and be like, sorry.
No, this will stay in here, but I forgot that at the beginning. That was the news. That was the update.
That was the news. We're very good at this.
That was it. Episode 48.
Our brains have been a little wacky this week.
Wacky.
There's been a lot going on, a lot of working. I thought I was going to finally have 2 days off this week, but soiled.
That's all right. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I made a beef stew. How was your Thanksgiving?
The traditional Thanksgiving meal, yes.
I know your family kept calling me and they're like, "You're not having turkey? You're all by yourself?" Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, it's fine though. I'm having a good time."
They called you and were like concerned that you were by yourself. They called me.
No, I called them.
Oh, they called me and they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working today." And they're like, "Till when?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've got like a 12-hour shift today." And they're like, "Oh, well, happy Thanksgiving." And I was like, "Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about that." All right.
Yeah. Yeah, they were so sad. They're like, "You're having beef stew?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "On Thanksgiving?
By yourself, all alone?" Yeah, they didn't care that I was alone. Like, "You're alone? Oh gosh." And I'm like,
yeah, they asked me about you. I was like, "I'm pretty sure you're still working, yeah."
They did bring in some contractors that they gave us like a turkey and ham and mashed potatoes and stuff. It was really good. I can't complain about the food part.
My sister offered to drive me a plate down, and I was like, "It's fine."
A plate from where?
San Antonio.
Down? You don't live down from there.
Okay.
Look at a map, hippie.
I don't know. Listen.
A plate down. She was gonna drive an hour and a half to give you a plate of food.
Yeah, because she felt bad I was alone too. And I was like, "No, it's okay. I swear I'm fine with this. Like, I enjoy this.
I enjoy this. I enjoy being away from you."
No, not you, but I was like, sometimes it's nice to not have to like be around your whole family. Not like your whole family, but like my whole family for a major holiday. It's like I really just need some time to myself. Like I said, I haven't gotten 2 days off in a while, and like I'm just really tired, and mentally I don't want to have to like entertain people.
Mm-hmm. I think I did all right. I was working most of the day, so I kept busy, but it was definitely different because this was the first Thanksgiving that I've where I didn't see any family like that I've ever
in like
had.
6 years. Yeah.
No, like ever.
Ever? Really?
Yeah, like I always either had one family member or another, or been with somebody.
I've been disappointed on a lot of holidays.
Just wasn't with any family. That's why I was like, oh, this is kind of strange. But I stayed at work so long that I was like, I kind of went by and went back to the hotel room. And I'm like, well, this is more sad than I thought it would be. I laid down. I guess I'll just sleep. I don't know. Like, oh.
I was drinking and playing video games.
Like, I don't have anything to drink there. Yeah. I laid down and I was like, guess I'll just shop online. So I was like shopping through things. I'm like, oh, Black Friday deals are going on. You get anything good for Black Friday?
I did get a MacBook.
No way.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I could tell you barely contained it in that sentence. There. I am very excited.
I am.
One day it will reach the outside
my
of me.
laptop doesn't work, and it's very frustrating.
Well, that's not true. It works. You just can't unplug it or move it.
Yeah.
Like a laptop.
Yeah, it's like completely not the point of a laptop, and I can't take it anywhere if I want to do writing or anything. Or if like I go visit family, I don't have anything to help me write.
You were fidgeting a lot this episode. You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine. But so I got the MacBook and I got a cute case for it, and I'm so excited, and I think it's gonna help me write a lot more. So it'll be here tomorrow. I can't complain about one day. What about you? You get anything for Black Friday?
Uh, Mainly just Christmas gifts. I didn't get anything for myself. We start looking at cars, but I don't know that I'm gonna get one anytime soon.
Oh yeah, did you look at them after I
Mm.
left more?
No, I was lazy.
I don't think I'll need another car for a while. I like my car.
Yeah, well, you don't have like hardly any miles on it either.
No, don't drive a lot. Or at least I try not to.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
I don't know. We're about out of time anyway. So
yeah, my brain is like. Hopefully, y'all are taking care of yourselves. The holidays can be kind of rough, and the world is what it is right now. So take care of yourselves out there.
Yep. Live for the revolution, die by the revolution. You know how it goes.
Flowers are blooming in Africa. Antarctica.
What?
Have you not seen that?
What was that sentence you just tried to pawn off as like some fucking like profound knowledge of the universe?
Flowers
have begun springing up.
Flowers are blooming. Shut up, God. Flowers are blooming in Antarctica.
So
it's like a thing on TikTok, like because they don't like want people talking about revolution and stuff. So people have started saying flowers are blooming in Antarctica because they literally are.
Did you ever see that? I think we had the same.
Catching.
I think we had the same history teacher.
Government teacher.
No. We've had other not the same class, the same teachers.
Well, I had Mr. Gallagher.
Anyway, did you have the teacher that was like teaching it like, there's only two ways that things change throughout history?
No.
Did you ever get that lesson? What class was that in? I swear it was history. You're just looking at me like I'm crazy. You're gonna offer a thought on it?
My class didn't do that, so I don't know how to help you here. Like I said, I had Mr. Gallagher for most of my history classes.
Most of your history classes. So you didn't get taught that lesson?
Mm-mm.
Oh, but you don't remember much about history all of a sudden.
I remember some historical things.
Like what? George Washington was president one?
No.
You don't remember that?
That's I don't
pretty
know.
sad.
I do remember that, but I mean, like, I don't know. Ask me something random, like.
Okay.
Like the only reason that the Great Depression really ended was because the World War started. So our production of military weapons created an economic boom for the country, and that's the only reason that the Depression ended.
War does that anytime we have war.
Yeah, but I just mean like at that time though, the country was doing really poorly, and because of the war, like it helped them.
Yeah, the Great Depression also happened because of a war. Like we came back from the war and we were like, cool, can we have Jaws back? And everyone was like, fuck no. Like that's how that worked. Then there was like the fucking dust that just said, yeah, what if we had less food too? Do you know where paprika comes from?
Some sort of pepper.
Some sort of pepper. I've asked you this before, and that was your same answer. Correct. Some sort of pepper.
At least I'm consistent.
Where does it come from? Spice. I don't know. Pretty sure somebody grew it. What's that little red twig that's real expensive?
Coriander?
Saffron. That's the one. I remember.
Saffron is yellow.
No, I swear. There's red. I don't believe you. Saffron. Bro, saffron's red. Where are you getting this from?
The saffron I've seen is yellow.
Where? No saffron is yellow.
Look up yellow saffron.
Yellow saffron? Color. According to Hindu mythology, it's the sunset or fire, light, and the little part inside is yellow, but that's definitely red.
And then they dry it out and it becomes yellow, I'm pretty sure.
This is dry. What do you mean? Look, that's dry. That's dry right there. It's dry.
I swear I've seen yellow saffron.
What is the saffron price per pound right now?
A lot.
$5,000 a pound for saffron.
How much is that for a gram?
Vanilla is the second most expensive at $600 a pound. That's quite the difference between saffron and vanilla.
Yeah.
But vanilla extract's not that expensive. That's kind of strange to me. Maybe they don't use that much vanilla in it.
Yeah, I mean, you're just soaking it in liquid, so.
Yeah, I guess. Did you see how much is that per gram?
Mm-hmm.
What are you, a drug dealer? Why are we measuring in grams now? This is America, God damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, take us out of here.
Country roads. Well, anyways.
Okay, good job. Thank goodness.
This
To
has
take us
been-
out of here, not take me home. Come on now.
This has been our podcast, Mindless Prattle, the podcast
can
where
have
we
it, too.
prattle mindlessly. Have what?
Podcast. I'm sharing it with them. You said it's just ours, but they can have some too.
Don't worry. This is an equal opportunity podcast.
Unless you're. Never mind. So.
I'm Ripley. That's Jordan. And we hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, leave a comment or a message or rate us on Spotify, please.
Wait for you to get desperate at the end there. Please, someone talk to me. He's keeping me prisoner. Send me a comment. Like,
Blink twice if you need help.
Blink? What? Who's gonna? Yeah, blink at your phone.
No, that's exactly.
We'll know.
That's the joke. So you never laugh at my jokes, but when I don't laugh at yours, you're like, it's funny.
It was funny. I laughed, not externally or internally, but
I do that all the time though, where I'm like, I laughed, and you're like, okay.
you just like dead stare into the distance, and I'll make a joke, and you're like,
Sometimes I just laugh in my
you just
head.
nod, and I'm like, all right, I thought it was funny, and you're like, I did too, and I'm like, oh, that's why we got the serial killer nod going on. Good.
I just like laugh in my head sometimes, and I think I've laughed out loud, and I didn't.
Yeah, it's a real joy.
And then you're like, what? And I'm like, I chuckled.
I chuckled. Haha. You're like, ah, yes, my bad. I had my telepathy turned off.
My bad. I thought you could hear my thoughts. But that's gonna do it for this evening.
Whoa, who are you doing?
I-
Is the podcast female now? Is that what you're just named? You're just gendering our podcast? That's cool.
Everything is female unless proven otherwise.
How?
Everything starts out as female in the beginning.
What are you talking about?
Genetics.
Genetics. You're right. I am fairly certain that phone. Yep. Female. It's got all those holes. Has to be.
Oh my god. And men have lots of holes too.
You can't bring up counter arguments. This ain't a debate. This is not a debate, all right?
It could be. Okay, well, that's going to be all.
I can tell. You're trying like scrummy. We're actually overtime. We gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye now.
And now you say bye too.
I already did. You ruined it.
That's all, folks.
What are you, Porky Pig? What?
Okay, bye.